How's everybody doing? You all have a good Thanksgiving? I'm about to. Heading over to the parents' house to eat a lot of food and then take a nap. But just want to do a little update on the GTO. The last video I did was just doing some pre-dyno runs on the street just to make sure everything was good. So we didn't finish the tune and didn't end up making the power that I was wanting to on our first time on the dyno, which that's a pretty, I don't know, that's a pretty big goal to set, and we still made power, but we didn't get to finish the tune, partially because we weren't making the power where I was wanting to make it. Basically, because of the 317 heads, compression was much lower than I thought it was going to be. So the turbo wouldn't come on, full blast until about like 4,500 RPM, which is a lot higher than I wanted it to. So luckily, I've got a spare set of 243 heads at the shop that I'm gonna throw on there. And I'm pretty sure we lifted a cylinder head because in boost, the coolant system is becoming pressurized and it's blowing out of my expansion tank. I checked the oil, there's no coolant in it. So it's only happening in boost, which is literally the best case scenario, which is cool. But since I'm going to take the 317 heads off anyway to raise compression, so I start making more power down low, which is where I want it, I should be able to fix that at the same time. I got some head studs that'll be here tomorrow, so I'll do that this weekend. But I do have some clips of the car as is, and it ended up making, the most it made was 550 wheel torque and 501 horsepower. I forget what boost level that was at, but it's got a 9-pound spring in the gate right now, and it made 7 pounds on the dyno. So I can't remember if that's how much it was making when I made the 550 501, but yeah, it gets down. It gets down. I haven't really had any races yet. Obviously, it's sitting parked right now because I can't just keep blowing coolant out of the car. But it runs pretty good. I was greatly surprised. And honestly, if I wasn't blowing coolant, I might just leave the thing alone and drive it the way it is, because it's plenty quick. I mean, I obviously have to get higher up in the RPM before I really get on it, but it's a lot of fun. So I'll include some clips that I've gotten with this update video. So. moves a little bit. No problem spinning the tires at all. The nice thing is, though, that as soon as I swap out those cylinder heads, we shouldn't have to put any larger springs into the gate. We should just be able to throw it on the dyno, and basically, I'm guessing we'll probably end up making the 600 wheel horsepower just by swapping those heads. Just because the compression was so low, it wasn't making anything at all until the boost came in. And once we started adding more boost to it, it was like, yes, finally, let me run. But honestly, for a driveway built hot side, thing runs great. It does start boost creeping at 16 psi, which is why I'm kind of wanting to raise the compression so I don't have to run as much boost, because right at around 16 psi is when it starts to creep. So it's not perfect, obviously, but it works. And I mean, even while lifting a cylinder head, it made 500 horsepower and 550 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty to have fun with. So I think it's overall a success. I mean, I'm happy with it. I was doing some fun runs with a C7 and getting some video, and I didn't walk away from him, obviously, but it was fun. It's rowdy. So there's not a whole lot more that I plan on doing to the car. I do think I'm gonna put some race seats in, just because I'm a real thin dude, and the GTO seats are good, but I think not only will we shed some weight making the car lighter and faster, but it should be a little bit more, race seats will grip you a little bit more. So